Go.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Guys, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. We promise to make this quick and informative and try to get to most of your questions. We look forward to doing these as often as we possibly can just to keep the community informed. Before we kick it off and start answering questions, I just first of all want to really tell you guys I appreciate every single one of you. It's absolutely incredible what we've all accomplished together in such a short period of time. We have some people that are in this Discord that have done some really massive NFT projects, some legendary ones actually. And they're messaging me and Fox and saying, "What are you guys doing to grow your Discord so fast?" And it's really about you guys. We're really appreciative that the communities come together. And that's really what this is all about. The vision of the founders was to create a compensated community, right? A first in its class NFT project that not only brings a lot of utility to the NFT holders, but a compensated community that's actually rewarded via our reflection protocol to really incentivize you to grow the community and to be part of the community. We have really big goals that we're going to accomplish together. We want to give millions of dollars away in charity together. We want to make a massive impact, not just have a really cool art NFT project. And there's so many great ones out there, but we really wanted this to be something special that not only put some really killer art. I'm sure you guys have read Mike Miller's bio already. He is just probably one of the best out there to be creating the art for this project, but something to give you great art, but also give you some really great utility that you are getting real tangible value from through our reflection pool. And you're being honored for being part of this community. And we'll never forget that you guys are the reason all of this happened. Not any one of these founders could have made this possible without all of you. So thank you guys so much. Also got a shout out to our incredible team. I know a lot of you have worked with them through the ticketing system and on Discord. Suni and his team are just an absolute group of rock stars that are having a lot of fun interacting with you guys and getting to know you. So thank you so much to the team. Make sure you guys are always showing them a ton of love and respect, because the Discord manager Suni and the other team, they work really hard to keep everybody happy, get everyone's questions answered. So Suni, hats off to you and the team. Really, really appreciate you, buddy. And also our devs, the people that actually make all the bones and structure of this thing work. We're just so appreciative that this collaborative effort of such great people have came together to make it happen. And like I was saying earlier, someone asked a question about getting rich. And, I do believe that we live in one of the most powerful times in existence, that you can do so many different things from home, on the go, sitting on a beach anywhere in the world, help grow communities and be compensated for doing that. So we have some really big goals for all of you in here to just to grow with us as a project as we get the Meta Bounty Hunter stories out. So we're very, very excited to be here. I'm going to let Mr. Fox talk for a second, and we'll get into some questions. For those of you that don't know Mr. Fox, he is very, very successful entrepreneur. Just like all of our founders, they have done some really incredible things in the crypto NFT entrepreneur space. And we all came together, and Mr. Fox is, one of those stories, just an incredible entrepreneur. Some really cool stories that you guys will get to hear from him over time of mining crypto before most people even knew what Bitcoin was, and just some really, really cool digital companies, brick and mortar companies, some really successful entrepreneurial endeavors, and especially in the crypto space. So Mr. Fox, I'm going to hand it off to you to say a couple words, and let's start ripping some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, it's a pleasure to be here with you. Obviously, we value your time. The fact that you take time out of your day, 3:00 where I am, 5:00 where some of you are, 4:00, to be here with us means a lot to us. And I'm going to try and tell a little bit of the story of the vision of the community while also answering some of the questions. I've been seeing questions come in on the AMA questions tab. If you have any questions, feel free to go ask them there. We'd love to try and give as much insight and clarity as we can today. At the end of the day, I think there's a few key factors in setting up this community. Number one, we're doing things a little bit different. We added an affiliate component to this, where we actually, when you go to our website and you enter the call sign of the person that referred you, and then you create your own call sign and share that with somebody else. One of the things that we felt was missing in components of other major NFT projects was there needs to be a reciprocating benefit to the community. At the end of the day, it's an honor, it's a pleasure to be somebody who's helped put this community together, somebody who's helped create the architecture, the framework for it. But at the end of the day, any great community in the world is only as good as the people that are a part of it. And so we wanted to create something that would have a reciprocating benefit. It benefits the community by growing the community. And I'm going to talk about that in terms of the vision of where we're going, because the bigger this community becomes, the more leverage as a community we create in this new stage of life, the metaverse and NFTs. It's crazy, right? We live in a time where we will be a part of recreating everything that we know today in the physical world without boundaries. We have the ability to go create it digitally, right? And none of us know where the metaverse is going, but I think if you're on this AMA at this point, you know it's inevitable that the metaverse and this digital world is a part of all of our futures. And for our kids, it will be a huge part of their life and what they do. And so we wanted to create an architecture and a framework that gave us the ability to create leverage with a community. And that leverage will extend into metaverse projects. It'll extend into our ability to go create strategic relationships with other massive projects in the space, while at the same token or same time, rewarding those that contribute most to the community by being advocates of the community, by sharing the community, by being those that invite other people to join the community. And you guys have absolutely, honestly done too good. We didn't expect it. We didn't expect to have a whitelist that already has 2,500 people on it in the first 36 hours. And so we're going to be addressing some of those things today on this AMA. We'll be opening up some additional whitelist positions. There'll be some added qualifications to get on that. But because of you guys, I think it demonstrates that if you create a balanced relationship, if there's a reciprocating benefit to where the community's benefiting from people going and being advocates and fans and members, but you're inviting other people and you're benefiting from that it creates that right balance. And so we're excited about that. In the architecture of the community, when you see the roadmap and you see our unique structure with the staking pool with Cali.finance, and I'll talk about Cali.finance here in a second. And then you see how we use that to create a mechanism of reflections back to the community. And that's our commitment. Number one, our commitment is to deliver incredible art. And yes, I know one of the questions was, will we ever have Mike Miller on an AMA? And that's an absolute yes. He was a DC comic artist. He's an incredible artist. Somebody asked, what was the reason for bounty hunters? And at the end of the day, we wanted something. We could have done something in the entrepreneur space. A lot of different things we bounced around. But ultimately, we saw this idea of creating bounty hunters, and Mike came up with the artwork. We gave him a little bit of direction, but he absolutely crushed it with the artwork. And the whole idea of this bounty hunters is it's kind of like the Robin Hood story, right? It's not about the founders of this community just going out, minting, collecting a bunch of money without really quantifying for the members that participate, for the people that actually go mint an NFT. We felt an important piece was transparency and making sure those that participate could really understand down to quantifiable percentages our commitment to the community. At the end of the day, what are we doing? We're selling NFTs, but ultimately the long-term viability of this project, and we understand that, will be emphasized on the transparency and the execution and follow through of that roadmap, which includes this relationship with Cali.finance. Cali.finance is a Singapore company, for those of you that were asking. It has been a private company. It has about 8 clients that have been using their staking liquidity pool for the last about 2.5 years when we did our due diligence on them. So it is a private company. They haven't put up anything visually. And really the reason for them putting up some public numbers is us asking for that. We asked them if they would be willing to make public some of the pools and the numbers that they've done, ultimately leading into the point that for the Meta Bounty Hunter community. So you'll see when they put their website live, they have a track record with other pools that they've engaged in. We got introduced to them after long conversations. We were able to negotiate with them to be able to use their pool mechanism. And what you'll see on there is audited numbers from Cali.finance relative to the Meta Bounty Hunter community pools. And so when we mint, obviously, if there's 8,888 NFTs, what you're going to see is a pool that represents what we've laid out in the roadmap and what we've shown as the vision of our execution. You're going to see a pool that represents 85% of the mint revenue. There's going to be 8,888 contributors, and that pool will represent our community, ours meaning all of us that end up minting a bounty hunter inside of their structure. And then what we'll be doing is using the yield from that staking pool to pay a reflection back to the holders of Meta Bounty Hunters. And so as you go through the white paper, you'll see that the reflections will be paid back. Really, it's kind of four mechanisms. One of those is 4%, which will be the community do good pool. And I'm going to touch on that here in a second. One of those is 4%, which will be for community giveaways. So as that starts growing and generating yield with Cali.finance, we'll release a DAO that will be specifically for the community giveaway that will allow all of you that hold an NFT to vote on what you want us to give to the community. I mean, what is it? You want a Bored Ape? You want a Tesla? You want what things can we give back to the community? Our commitment is that 100% of those proceeds will be used there, and that will be fully transparent through the smart contract. So when we take that 85% of mint revenue and as the community organizers, we contribute that on behalf of this community to Cali.finance, 100% of the proceeds or 100% of the yield generated from using Cali.finance's staking pool will go back to this community. So we'll participate it the same way you do by owning an NFT. And that's what I think is cool about this is it's going to be transparent. Cali.finance will be providing quarterly audits of the assets that have been allocated to the Meta Bounty Hunter pool on behalf of this community. They'll provide their auditor reports on the yields that their pool is generating. And then from that yield, we create a mechanism to create a reciprocating benefit back to those that are part of our community. And so the 4% for community do good, 4% for giveaways, and then the other 92% will be broken up between the direct reflection, which will go to anyone who holds an NFT. So if you hold one of the NFTs, you'll get a direct reflection. And then the affiliate reflection will go based on those that decide to help grow our community by referring other people to the community. And so the reflections, I think, is really going to set us apart in the NFT space. The relationship with Cali.finance is obviously the mechanism that allows us to do that. And then with the other side of the roadmap of the Meta Bounty Hunter communities, we see this community evolving and growing and becoming one of the largest organized communities in the entire metaverse space. And the reason that we want to execute on that is because with that becomes an incredible amount of leverage. We have relationships with some of the biggest metaverse projects in the world, Big Time Games, Cinder.io, which you'll see coming out. We've already got whitelisted positions on that for our community, NFT Worlds, TCG World. And our intention is to take the power of community and negotiate leveraged opportunities for our community to participate in those giant metaverse projects and giving that benefit back to the community, because in numbers is power. And so if we can build a large enough NFT community around this architected structure we've created, we can then use that to go create leveraged participation in some of the world's biggest metaverse projects. Outside of that, we are working with one of the largest play to earn gaming companies to develop our own play to earn games specific to meta bounty hunters. So I think you've probably seen that on the roadmap. That's exciting. From a DAO perspective, we've got some incredible DAOs that we'll be launching to represent this community. One of those DAOs will be around the potential of future mints, and it'll even come down to the artwork. We think we have some of the best artists in the world that want to work with us. And if as a community we do future mints, we want to actually engage the community to allow you to participate in even deciding on the actual artwork that will be released in the mints through the community. So a lot of exciting things on the roadmap. Tommy, I don't know if you've been reading some of the questions. Maybe you have a few you can jump in and answer. And while you do that, I'll read a few and we can just bounce back and forth and try to cover as many people's questions as we can.
Sounds good. Guys, I don't know about you, but just hearing Fox unpack that is just it's crazy to think what we're all going to accomplish together over the next coming years. It's a lot of fun to think about. So one of the questions that came in that I actually had written down on my notes, so I'm going to address it, is people are mentioning OpenSea. Guys, one thing right now that we need to do is rally together as a community, and anybody we refer to meta bounty hunters right now, we need to make sure that we tell them that there is no meta bounty hunters available currently. The only place you will be able to get them on the short term is minting them when we launch our whitelist mint. That's the only place. On OpenSea right now, unfortunately, there's a lot of scammers out there that are trying to take screenshots of our artwork and sell phony NFTs on OpenSea right now. So together we need to try to protect the community to prevent that from happening. Unfortunately, that's just the space that we live in right now. So if we could all really protect the community, remind people if they're asking about it in the chat, and definitely anyone we refer to the Discord or talk to Meta Bounty Hunters, let them know that the only place you're gonna be able to get those for the first time is gonna be on OpenSea, or not on OpenSea, on the Meta Bounty Hunters website. Trav, you want to jump to another one?
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump through a few questions here, guys. So somebody asked if this is a long-term project. And I'm gonna go back to just how amazing you guys are and those that have contributed already to the community. The fact that we filled up the whitelist this quickly is crazy, honestly. It was too fast, so you guys did too good of a job. We have some incredible marketing initiatives coming out because we have a long-term vision for this community. It doesn't stop at 8,888 meta bounty hunters. You're going to see some really credible people from the NFT space that market big projects, and you're going to see some really influential people that have nothing to do with the NFT space marketing meta bounty hunters over the next 4 weeks. So I always say when somebody asks, is this credible? Why do we use call signs? Right now, to be honest, it's because we need to stay focused on the execution of this community. And we all know if we're to put out our Instagrams today and we put out our names today, we're going to get a lot of people that try to jump past Discord and come directly to us to communicate and ask questions. We're committed to doing an AMA every week. We're going to make sure that you have access to get the information you need. And I feel like we hired the best Discord team in the world. Suni and his team are absolutely incredible. I hope you felt that experience. It was something that's important to us. We want to make sure people have somebody to listen, somebody to help, somebody to guide. We know all of you aren't long-term crypto participants. You'll see on our website, we took the time to create videos on simple things like how do you go buy Ethereum, or where do you get a MetaMask wallet, or what do I need to be ready for the day of mint? We want to be a proponent of the crypto world. We want to be a proponent of metaverse, and we went and put the right things in place. So at some point after mint, you'll be able to take your MetaMask ID wallet. You'll be able to verify here in Discord to join the channel where it'll be with only those that have minted. We understand that some of you might make the decision to not participate in our community. And that's totally okay. Like, we want the people here that see the vision for where we're going. But for those that do, you'll be able to join into a special Discord where you'll be able to interact with the founders directly. You'll be able to know who they are, connect with them. For the time being, so that we don't get flooded with direct messages, we're going to stay operating by our call signs. And the long term of this is the relationships you're going to see that we've brought to this community. The roadmap that we've laid out for those people to be able to have them want to associate their name, their brand. Some of them are large Instagram, TikTok influencers, celebrities. And it's important to us. We're taking this very serious. The roadmap of this is long-term. The roadmap of the DAOs we're creating is long-term. The roadmap of the gaming platform. We're already in talks with 2 metaverses right now to code the avatar that you could mint for your bounty hunter and use it inside of those other metaverses. We have land purchase on Decentraland and Sandbox. We'll intend to build out a bounty hunter layer in both of those projects where we'll have some really cool entrepreneur and crypto and different things. And for those of you close to America, we're even talking right now about a post-mint celebration party, probably somewhere in Miami. So it's not that we're going to be obscure forever. I mean, we're not going to attend a party with everyone if we don't want people to know who we are. We just need to stay very focused. The execution on this community is important, making sure all the things are delivered. I saw somebody ask about audits. We will have the smart contract audited, 100% transparency. The mint is 100% random. Anyone has a fair chance of getting the rarest to the least rare NFT. There's no special allocations in terms of rarity. And so not only will a smart contract be audited, but as I mentioned, the reason Cali.Finance has agreed to become public, because to this point, they've been a private minting pool for very select high net worth crypto exchanges, crypto projects. We talked them into coming public because we felt like visibility of that piece of our structure was important. We felt like transparency in that was important. And in doing that, allowed us to also talk with them about adding an audited component. So as I mentioned, once we get past mint, you'll see all of the funds that we've communicated or that we've laid out will be contributed. You'll see those contributed to Cali.Finance in custodial accounts for Meta Bounty Hunters community. And then they will have an audit performed quarterly and provide that report available to our members, so that if we tell you that the Meta Bounty Hunters are $2,000, and if we tell you that 85% of that mint revenue is going to be contributed to that mechanism to create long-term viability and benefit for our community, we want there to be complete transparency, that you guys can see that you can see those numbers. They're audited quarterly, and that you guys will have that visibility. So I'm excited about that. I think that relationship, for the time being, we have somewhat of a limited exclusivity. I know there'll be other metaverse and NFT projects that will try to replicate what we're doing and try to replicate using the relationship with Cali.Finance when they see what we're able to do. Because when we contribute that revenue there, when you really think about it, like our giveaway pool will be a self-perpetuating pool. The reason somebody said, why are you waiting 6 weeks to pay reflections or we'll have some giveaways starting next week on our AMA next week, but the bigger giveaways will be done quarterly. And when you think about that, if we contribute these assets into custodial pools there and it's generating a yield, and then we use that yield to do giveaways, we can do giveaways forever, because it'll be a self kind of perpetuating mechanism to fund being able to do all of this cool stuff inside of our community. Tommy mentioned our Do Good. The biggest project that I'm most excited about for this community is this year. for the holiday season, as a community, we'll set the Guinness Book of World Records for doing the largest giving tree in the world, in the history of mankind. And that's what excites me. When you think about technology and you think about the time we live in, if all of us lived 2,000 years ago, we'd be in a cave gathered around a fireplace talking about how we could create a rock that was sharp so we could go hunt for dinner in a smarter way. But we live in a time where we get to talk about a digital world. We get to talk about NFTs. We get to talk about the metaverse. We get to talk about recreating the world in a limitless fashion. And that's not just about the ability to make money. It's about the ability to have impact and have influence. And so the thing I'm most excited about is we will have a plot of land in Decentraland. We'll build the world's largest Christmas tree. We'll have NFTs represented on that Christmas tree that represent a family in need around the world. And as a community, we'll go drive the world's largest giving tree ever in history. And we'll leave that lot forever memorialized in the metaverse for people that wanted to have impact. So when we thought about bounty hunters, bounty hunters go out and, they create yield, they create bounty. I think bounty hunters are the purest form of entrepreneurship. I'm going to go out and do something, impact, contribute, whatever. And from that, I'm going to create a yield. But the legacy of this community will be based on what we use that yield, what we use that bounty to do as far as impact. And I think the roadmap that we have, honestly, if we laid out the entire roadmap for this community, it'd be too much for the website right now. And there would be too much information. So a lot of these things I'm talking about, the minting DAO for future projects, where you'll get a vote, you'll get a say. The DAO that will launch around the community do good. We want to impact the world. We want to do good to the Mother Nature, the world we live in. We want to impact our little animal friends. We want to impact mankind. So we'll have quarterly projects that will be nominated onto the DAO. You as a member will get a vote, and we'll decide how we want to take the yield from that quarter and go do something good in the world that together we can be proud of. So this isn't like if you're here, look, at the end of the day, we want this project to be one of the biggest, coolest NFT projects in the world. We want to go do everything the way it needs to be done to get appreciated value for the NFTs on OpenSea for the community. I know a lot of people ask, why not Polygon? Why not Matic? To be honest with you, right now, the NFT community is just not mature enough for those other, even Solana. If you look at the resale value and you look at the volume, trading volume on a Solana NFT or a Matic NFT or a Polygon NFT versus Ethereum, it's not even close. And so as those other mechanisms mature, for sure, we built everything we built to be dynamic. So let's say we get to a future project that we all have decided on as a community. And instead of there being $14 billion in resale revenue on OpenSea for Ethereum, it's now more distributed across those other tokens. Absolutely, we'll make the change to pivot and use one of those other tokens that save our members gas fees. But for the time being, we got to go where the market is. Excuse me, getting over a bit of a cold. We got to go where the market is. And today the market's still in Ethereum. So the things that we'll do in terms of the time we mint, the time we pay reflections, all of those things are determined based on taking into consideration when we can create the best value for the community around gas. But ultimately, when the timing's right and there's a bigger established mechanism that creates that public resale value opportunity for all of you, we'll definitely be there, and we're fully prepared and already built all of our underlying technology to be able to pivot and make those right decisions when the timing's right. Tommy, I'm going to let you jump in on some questions. I'm going to read a few more.
Beautiful, beautiful. So again, a lot of questions about whitelist. So we'll let the cat out of the bag now. Once again, like Fox said, you guys made some quick moves of this community, it's awesome to see everyone buying into the Meta Bounty Hunter vision for sure. So we technically right now, if you go try to whitelist, you are not able to whitelist because it's full. However, The founders talked internally, and tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to open whitelist back up in small blocks. So tomorrow we'll open up a 200 whitelist block. We'll announce the details of that tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Suni will be putting out a post in regards to how you can participate that. Just to honor all of you who jumped in early and pulled trigger on whitelisting, people that whitelist next, it's not going to be as easy as it was for you all, because we want to honor you for taking advantage of the first mover there. So we'll send out some details on that tomorrow at 5 Eastern, but at 5 Eastern, we will flip the switch and you will be able to get some of your friends whitelisted, or for those of you that are not whitelisted yet, you'll be able to do so tomorrow, roughly around 5 p.m. Eastern. Let's see, what else do we got here?
Let me jump in on a couple, Tommy. The minting will be blind. If you missed that, I said I had answered that one. I want to make sure that's clear. I think that's important. Hopefully, as you get to see as we go forward, you'll see that a lot of what we do and a lot of the decisions we made have been based on having a truly open, transparent community. We want people to understand what our commitments are. We want people to understand what our vision is. And we want it to be a fair opportunity for everyone to participate. So there's not all of the reveals, all of the minting will be done for all 8,888. Every single one will be done completely at random, giving anyone who joins the community an opportunity to fully participate in the entire collection. Somebody said, how will we decide on future mints? To be honest with you, it's conversations we'll have here in Discord. With the community. We have some ideas. I don't know that we're 100% set on those ideas. We want to know who's going to be a part of our community, right? And until we mint, we won't truly know that. Obviously, all of you are here today, and we're grateful of that time, but we won't truly know that until the minting happens. Somebody asked about reflections. We are building. You'll see the Telegram bot was down. It'll be back up. We're making some upgrades to that. That's just a simple mechanism where you can go get some information relative to enlistment, which is growing your own squadron or your own community within our community. And then the reflection side will be in there. To help people with gas fees, what we're doing is the reflections will pay every week on the same day. Most likely that'll be Saturday or Sunday. Most likely it'll be around midnight sometime in the US, because that's when gas fees are the lowest. We've been monitoring that before we formalize a date. But what we will do is inside a Telegram, you'll have an accrual reflection. What that basically means is we'll hold your reflections in an escrow pool. So on day one, you'll see the Community Bounty Hunters reflection pool. And then you'll see an addition. It will be called the Reflection Escrow Pool. And that's where the money will be held. So again, all of this will be transparent and visible to you guys. You're not going to have to take our word for anything, although we hope we get to a point of establishing a relationship where you can. You'll see an escrow pool inside of Cali.finance. That is where we'll hold the reflections that are generated until they're paid out to you as the community. What we're going to do is have it to where your reflections will accrue until it reaches $500. You'll be able to see the accrual balance through the Telegram bot. Once it reaches $500 or more, it'll automatically pay with that week's reflections. And that's so that we can create a larger minimum transaction in terms of the reflection payment to minimize the impact of gas relative to that reflection being paid to you. So as we get closer to mint and through mint, going into those first weeks leading up to the first reflection payment, we'll have AMAs specifically about that in here. So I don't want to go too deep into that today, but just know we've thought those things through. And everything we're doing is to minimize the impact of gas, but we also want to maximize the upside potential, as I was saying, of appreciated value of the NFT collection for you, the community, to get the most out of that. And today that just, it is what it is. And that is that's happening the most with Ethereum driven projects today. I'm like you guys. I hope that starts to change. I hope we can help start being a part of that change. It would be much more effective to use Matic or Polygon or one of the other ones that have much lower gas fees. But if you look at the statistical data on the resale value of Ethereum right now, it's just too far. It's just too much of a discrepancy right now. So, but as I mentioned, we have built the smart contract and the architecture of our community to where if it gets to a point that we can make that better choice and we don't lose out on the resale value and the volume on the public market, we've already taken that into consideration and built everything accordingly. So rumors on reflections, there's no projections yet. Going into the first and second week after mint, we'll be able to let you guys know. Obviously, we did a lot of due diligence. There's a lot of staking pool companies out there. You know, there's Celsius, there's Genesis Trading, there's Compound.finance, a lot of places. We did a lot of due diligence on the visibility, the transparency, the auditability that a pool was willing to have with us, and where we felt like we could maximize the community assets to have the biggest impact for the community. I can say there's a reason we chose Cali.finance, but ultimately, we won't be able to make any projections until we've contributed the assets that first week after mint. And then we'll have a really good idea of at least 1 week and then 2 weeks and then 3 weeks. And I think we'll start to see somewhat of a trend.
Question that came up too, I want to answer real quick is whitelist guarantee. Someone asked if they're whitelisted, are they guaranteed? Yes. If you get on there, we're going to give it 24 hours. As soon as we let the whitelist mint start, as soon as the whitelist mint starts, you'll have 24 hours to get on there and purchase your Meta Bounty Hunter, and you will have a spot locked in place. So make sure that you have your MetaMask wallet loaded with some Ethereum so that you can jump on there and take advantage of your whitelist position. After 24 hours, just to respect the rest of the community that's waiting that maybe didn't get the whitelist, it will go into the public mint time where it'll just basically be first come, first serve until all 8,888 are sold.
Yeah, good point, Tommy. And as we said to start the call out, the whitelist will only guarantee you one NFT. So if you got whitelisted, it'll be a one per person guarantee. Just because, again, I believe as we haven't even launched the marketing initiatives that we had with some of the biggest NFT influencers, some of the biggest whales in the market, celebrities and everything else. We're still going to do it because at the end of the day, like we said, the initial season 1 mint of 8,888 is just the beginning of what we see as a long roadmap building one of the biggest metaverse NFT communities in the world. So we're still going to drive this community and following and everything else. And you'll still see us active even after the mint. And we have some cool things like mini mints that'll be happening every Thursday after the mint, where we'll still take some of the original collection and they'll be mintable even after the original mint. And you can get all those details on the website. Just looking real quick. So the public mint again, guys, will be $2,000. We'll set the Ethereum price closer to the mint date, just because, as you all know, right now Ethereum's somewhat volatile in price movement, and so we'll set that, but it will be the equivalent of $2,000. 85% of that will be contributed to Cali.finance. 15% is what we use to fund the roadmap of the community. And in the collection, there will be the like 100 super rares. They have their own reflection. The top 1,000 have a separate reflection bonus that gets paid. And as we said at the beginning, it will be 100%. All 8,888 will be minted at random. So anyone has the chance to get that. And if it says two mints per whitelist, we apologize. That's a typo that got missed. It will be 1 mint per whitelist for those that have whitelisted, 1 guaranteed mint. Second would be available if somebody doesn't end up minting, but they whitelisted. And then, as we said, we'll be opening up tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow will be starting with 200 additional whitelist spots, but there will be added requirements in order to whitelist. So we are going to start adding that people need to refer a certain number of people. The Discord, they need to have a certain number of people that have created their call sign in order to meet the requirements to be whitelisted. A good question. Will all 8,888 get reflections? The answer is yes. All of them get reflections. There's 2 rarity pools that are for the top most rare 100. So 1 pool for the top 100, 1 pool for the top 1,000. Those are rarity pools that pay separate as a part of the reflection. But all 8,888 will be receiving a reflection. Something we don't have on the site right now, but because you guys are here, I'll tell you. On the resale royalty from OpenSea, we'll have a 10% resale royalty. 5% of that will go back into the community reflections. 1% of that will stay with the original person that minted the NFT for the first time. And then 4% will help contribute towards the community roadmap. Guillermo, we're all going to learn that together. How much money will somebody get for hodling on our NFT? It's going to be interesting, guys. It's going to be interesting. We obviously believe in the long-term vision and roadmap of our project. It's what we're committed to. And I think there's going to be a fun dynamic, right? There's people that will mint and they'll go resell their NFT on OpenSea the next day. They'll flip, make some profit. And then there's people that'll wait to see what that first reflection will be. And then that will start impacting, I believe, the price that people are willing to resell their NFT for. And so it's going to be a fun dynamic of those that decide to stay a long-term part of our community and maintain holding one of our NFTs and the benefit they get through the reflections, and those that, we're not mad at anyone that comes in, goes through the effort of whitelisting, buys one, sells it, takes their profit. I know that's what people do. But we think we're going to create enough long-term value for the people that hold onto at least one NFT that they're going to see that. They're going to see that in the long-term value of our roadmap and the deliverables and things we're going to execute on. Somebody asked, how do we know which NFTs are rarer than others? We'll have it on Rarity Sniper and all of the appropriate websites where you'll be able to go in and see. If you whitelisted without a referral and you're already whitelisted, you're good. We're not going to take away anyone that's already whitelisted. So for those of you that were first movers, took action, I believe in life, people that are motivated enough to take action deserve to be rewarded. So if you've already whitelisted and you've referred nobody, you're on the whitelist. We appreciate you being a part of the community. We appreciate the fact that you're here. Nothing will be taken away from you. What we're saying is, if we've already filled 2,500 whitelist positions, we're going to systematically start opening more 200 at a time. And the criteria for the new 200 positions will have additional requirements to share the community with others. For those of you that are already there, congratulations, you took action and you deserve to be rewarded for that.
Kim asked, how much is public mint out of interest? Public mint will be the same price as the whitelist mint.
And yes, guys, again, one last time, and I just keep hitting on this. Somebody asked again, and it's important to me. The mint will be 100% random. 8,888. The reveal will be done at random. So anyone on here has an equal opportunity to get one of the top rare NFTs.
Main Event asked if we're going to have conferences and meetups. We haven't set anything in stone 100% yet. Fox minced earlier that we're talking about maybe doing an event here in the next couple months, possibly down in Miami, just to get together, hang out, have some fun, get to know each other. And yes, in the future, we plan on doing all types of different cool things together. Great question.
Shambo, great question on the public mint, the private mint. So February 10th, we'll give the exact time closer to the date. The whitelist mint will go live and it will stay live for 24 hours. So when we turn the whitelist live, you're guaranteed to be able to mint one Meta Bounty Hunter. You're going to want to get on and do it. We'll leave it live for 24 hours. Anyone who doesn't mint during that 24-hour period will lose the chance to whitelist mint, and they'll just have to get their NFT as a part of the public mint. Any NFTs that aren't minted during the whitelist period, which we don't anticipate there being any of those, but if there was, those will just roll into the public mint on February 17th. So February 10th, whitelist will go live for 24 hours. And then February 17th, the public mint will go live until it sells out. But we anticipate that this thing, based on the work you guys have already done and the impact that you guys have already had with this community, we anticipate the public mint will sell out in minutes or hours at the max. With new people being added to whitelist, yes, we're going to open up new spots. So if you get added, these 200 that we're opening up, if you're already whitelisted, it doesn't take away from the guarantee that you'll get one NFT during the whitelist period.
Kim asked another great question. I don't know how I keep seeing Kim's on there, but she said, does holding entitle you to free mints to future projects you bring out? So what we've discussed internally, what's probably going to happen based on the demand we're seeing already, if you are an NFT holder, you will get first shot at future mints that we do. Is that correct, Fox?
Yeah. So if and when we make the determination, we're calling this season one. If we do a season 2 mint, anyone who's an NFT holder of season 1 will have a preferred ability to be whitelisted for future projects. We're also talking right now, I mentioned this, but we're talking with some very big projects in the metaverse space that are coming out. We're going to be doing a few whitelist exchanges with them. And any of the positions that we get in those whitelists, we'll do giveaways to the community here to allow people from the community to access additional projects. So not only will it be on future projects that we do, but as I talked about, the long-term value of this community that we see will be that we build the largest compensated community in the world. And with that, it creates leverage for us to go participate in not only our own projects, but other good, viable projects, and lend the benefit of that participation through to the community, because with numbers becomes negotiating leverage. And so as we all grow this together, we'll be able to go to some of the largest metaverse projects in the world. We'll be able to get discount on buying land or buying NFTs or getting early mint access to their communities for this community through the leverage and the power of the community.
Fab's whitelist drop will be on our website, not OpenSea. And just another reminder for those jumping on, there's nothing for sale Meta Bounty Hunter related on OpenSea right now. Anything that's on OpenSea currently is a scam listing. Do not go purchase on OpenSea, and make sure you let anybody you know not to go on OpenSea and purchase a Meta Bounty Hunter until we officially do our mint and they're purchasing from the verified Meta Bounty Hunters OpenSea collection.
And we're working right now, guys, with we got direct contact to the owners of OpenSea. We're hoping by middle of next week, we'll have the actual Meta Bounty Hunters on OpenSea, and will be a verified project so that we can get rid of all of the people using what we're doing right now to try to scam people.
People are asking. Go ahead.
Tom.
people are because once we set the mint price, let's just say it's, you know, zero point 0.5 ETH or 1 ETH, whatever the number is, it doesn't matter. We're going to peg it right at what $2,000 USD is in ETH. But if ETH moves way up from there, it could actually make it so you're paying a little bit more than 2,000 US dollars. Once you're a crypto connoisseur, you don't really care. You just look at how much ETH or how much sats you have or how much Bitcoin you have. But it's important as soon as we unlock the whitelist mint that you jump on there right away, because once we set that mint price, it's going to stay at that mint price, and that's going to be the mint price when we go public. It's the mint price with the whitelist. So it's important to jump on there right away so that you're purchasing as close as you can to that 2,000 USD value worth of ETH, because Ethereum can move as we've all seen as of late. So be ready to rip.
I'm gonna wrap this AMA up with a few last questions, and then Nicole and I will be back on early next week for a follow-up AMA. In the meantime, we know that we leave you in good hands with Suni and the team we have here on Discord. Again, absolute rock stars. Actually, we don't like promoting them because they're the best in the space, and we don't want anyone to try and come steal our bounty hunter Suni. So we're keeping him on the team. But a few last questions. Somebody asked, and I value this question a lot. How do we know this isn't a rug pull? Why would I pay $2,000 for a bounty hunter? We hope over the coming few weeks that through these AMAs, through the marketing initiatives, through the actions that we take, that you can get comfortable with the conversation of meta bounty hunters. If you don't, we would encourage you, don't mint one. We don't want anyone to be a part of this community that doesn't truly see the value of what we're trying to do. And that's our responsibility. Our responsibility to be here answering questions, our responsibility to lay out with as much transparency as we can the architecture of what we're doing. Our responsibility to lay out the relationship with Cali.finance. Somebody asked a good question about Cali. You know, will the funds be held in USDT or Ethereum? Cali has one of the best allocated asset strategies we've seen. So it's a combination, but it really protects against hyper bear market movements. And again, all of these things went into due diligence as to why we picked these things. So what I would tell you is join the AMAs, watch what we're doing. And you'll get to a level of confidence that, you know, when you see what we're committing to do with the assets that are derived from the mint. We could have just talked about the fact that we had a relationship with Cali.finance, and we could have said we plan to send some of the proceeds from the mint revenue to Cali.finance. We wanted to articulate this down to the percentages because you'll be able to see that. If everything's public, the assets under the allocated assets in Cali.finance, if those numbers are going to be public, then you'll see what the weekly yield is that's being driven by Cali. And if you understand blockchain at all, you can go onto the smart contract and see if that's the exact dollar amount that got paid out to the community or at all. So everything that we're doing is done in a way where we could do it transparently and openly to the community. We understand the long-term viability and vision, and we understand the risk that anyone that buys a Meta Bounty Hunter is taking. And the risk is, do we do what we say we'll do? Well, if we want to go do what we have envisioned for this community, we have to do it. We have to do what we say we'll do. There has to be 85% that goes to Cali.finance. There has to be 100% of the yield that gets paid back to the community. And we have to participate with you as a part of this community in the way that we've laid out. So what we hope is we're able to show you that our intention's there, the transparency's there, and that you see enough value in what we're trying to do in this space. You see value in being a part of a compensated community. You see value in being a part of a community that's driven by having a reciprocating benefit I mean, I'm an NFT advocate. I own some of the biggest NFTs that are available. And I believe in this space long term. I believe that NFTs overall will have a functional application in the world we live in that will ultimately end up changing the dynamic of the world. Like my kids won't buy a house by going to a closing at a real estate office. It'll all be done. I won't buy sports cards, off eBay. It'll all be done via NFTs and smart contracts. And it's an amazing thing because it's transparent and it's visible and it forces us to be accountable to delivering on the vision we're laying out for you. And if we do, I think we will gain the support of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, and we'll be able to accomplish our vision and goal of building the largest metaverse community in the world. And if we don't, you'll know it because it'll be transparent. So we appreciate your guys' time today. We appreciate what you guys have done already in this community. As I said, we haven't even really got the opportunity to turn on the marketing engine that we have built for this community. And we're already on here mentioning to you guys that we're going to start adding more whitelist positions because you guys have filled them all up. So we're grateful for that. We're grateful for what you guys are doing. Guys, whitelist, public sell, and pre-sell will all be the same price. It's 2,000 in ETH. We'll set it when we do the whitelist mint. We'll set the public price for the NFTs at that time. Closest to that time, it'll be 2,000 in Ethereum, and so we'll set that closest to the time of mint. I think we've answered long-term vision and future utility. I think we have one of the most robust roadmaps in terms of future utility that I've seen in the NFT space, foundational on our staking and reflection. So we can get into that a little bit more. You guys will see some cool marketing stuff come out. We have a ton of stuff coming out with some other AMAs we'll be doing with other big NFT communities. We have some cross-promotional whitelists that'll be coming out with other NFT communities. We have some really big influencers and whales in the NFT space that's going to start talking about this project. Honestly, we didn't feel that we'd get to 10,000 on Discord and fill up 2,500 whitelist positions so quickly. Otherwise, they'd already be talking about it. We told them to hold off until middle of next week. So a lot of exciting marketing later, closer to the whitelist mint. We have some cool stuff happening in New York where we'll get some crazy footage. So yeah, lot of exciting stuff, guys. We'll be back on early next week for an AMA. We hope during that time, you guys can continue helping us grow this community. We know we leave you in good hands with Suni and the team here. So tomorrow, 5:00 Eastern, with new requirements, the new whitelist positions will come open, and together we'll keep building this community. And we're excited about the future. To be honest, waking up this morning was a pleasure for us to see that so many people are looking at what we're doing, and we hope to help you guys succeed with this project. We hope to help you guys find a place that you can get value in the NFT space. And as the weeks go on, we'll continue to lay out more and more aspects of the roadmap. I think if we laid it all out for you right now, we'd be on an AMA for the next 3 days with questions because there's so much to the roadmap that we have envisioned for this community. So thank you for your time today, guys. It was a pleasure to be here with you. Nakoa, thank you. Suni, thank you. And we'll see you guys soon on next week's AMA.
Awesome job, everyone. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Go light up that general chat and give Suni some love. Give Fox some love. Appreciate you all, and drop in the chat what has you excited about Meta Bounty Hunters. We'll see you soon.